Okay, 2012 Redskins training camp battles. Redskins had an interesting off season. They traded away their first and second round pick this year alone to get Robert Griffin III. The Redskins had a lot of holes to fill in their roster without a second round pick and the salary cap penalties that Goodell put down. So they spent some good money on the rookies and on Pierre Garçon and Josh Morgan. So a lot of holes left to fill. The Redskins were kind of left to go dumpster diving to fill some of those holes. So that leads to some of our first training camp battles. The first training camp battle is the free safety position. Two guys fighting it out are Medea Williams, the veteran guy. He's known to be an off the field character. He won the Walter Payton Award, 9-year career, but he's never been the same since that neck injury he had versus the Vikings. The Vikings pulled away from the Bengals, and the contract did really well for Cincinnati. As I said, never been quite the same. On the other side, we bring in Tenar Jackson, who's failed 2 drug tests. He had to sit out a year. He failed a physical this past April. But the Redskins, with Raheem Morris, thought they can bring him back, get something out of him. So that'll be interesting to see who wins that one there. Strong safety. The Redskins lost their 2 starters last year, Tagway and Laurent Landry, neither of whom were ever healthy the entire year. So this year they bring in Brandon Merriweather, a veteran from the Pats, who cut him. They didn't like the way he freelanced. Before that, he was with the Bears, cut him, benched him, didn't like the way that he freelanced. Haslett's defense is a little different with strong safeties. He always plays them up by the box, run stuffer, rush the passer, so we'll see how that goes. Behind him is Reed Dowdy, DeJon Gomes, guys that played both safety positions last year. So we got some quality depth there. As we said, we brought in Brandon Weather, and he thanked the Redskins by getting a DUI this offseason. So we'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting to watch, but it's Brandon Merriweather's job to lose right now. Cooley! Tight end position is the third training camp battle, and to me, the most important one that I'm looking at. Chris Cooley's been a staple at that Redskins position since the Joe Gibbs era. One of the few holdovers is left, but knee injuries, he's been on IR 2 of the last 3 years. Is he still a guy that we can count on to be the guy? The Redskins started the Niles Paul transition to tight end last year. We obviously got Fred Davis penciled, inked in as our starter. Can Niles Paul be that guy that steps in, be that athletic 2 tight end set guy like the Pats that we need? The first week of training camp we'll know. Does Cooley still have his burst? Does he have any speed? Can Niles Paul block? It'll be very interesting to watch that goes. This could be the end of an era for Chris Cooley. Obviously, the Redskins paying $3.8 million this year. They don't want to risk paying that salary if he's just going to be an IR. So he's got to stay healthy through training camp. Will he do it? Cooley, let me know. And the fourth big training camp battle is the running back position. So many websites out there, they rank the Redskins at the bottom. We don't have an Arian Foster. We don't have that Clinton Portis one back, beat your guy. You know what? Who needs one? If we get 2,500 yards as a unit, it doesn't matter if we have a number 1 backer guy. So many defenses complained last year that they couldn't handle Tim Hightower, all have such a bruising running back. And in the second half, we bring in a fresh Roy Halou, who's fast, runs hard, catches out of the backfield. Worn down defense in the second half had so many problems. So you know what? We don't need one guy. The big thing to watch in training camp, Tim Hightower coming back from that ACL injury. Does he have his burst? I question that he's going to have his burst. The Redskins offered him a minimum contract. No other team's really interested in him. So it'll be interesting if Hightower can be one of those bullpen running backs that can help wear teams down like he had last year. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And the final training camp battle is the kickers. If there's anything we love in DC more than the QB controversy, it's a kicker controversy. And Lord knows we haven't had a stable kicker since, what, Chip Lohmiller? And to think David Akers was once first a Redskin, I digress. So we have Graham Gano, who was last in the league in field goals between 30 and 39 yards. Pretty much unacceptable, kicking 56% from there. You have Neil Rackers, an actually good guy to come in and challenge him. Much more accurate from inside that 40 range. But obviously his leg's not there as on the deep range stuff. He's 35 years old. So we'll see. Who's gonna win out? The younger guy with the stronger leg, or the more veteran guy that's more accurate in the shorter range? Either way, I'm sure we'll be let down at one point in the season.